What's going on, guys? This is the GameFans Podcast number 20. I am your host, Mark Hearn, and we've also got Nick Cosmedes in the house.
Hi there.
Ashley King, a ring-a-ding-ding.
Hi, guys.
What was that? What did I do? And I'm your host, Mark Hearn. If I didn't say that, maybe I did. We'll have to check back on that. Anywho.
Mark, you just said what the fox says, and if you don't get that, I'm going to have to show you a video later.
What?
Oh, no.
I've got to show you a video. If you don't, I swear, people who listen to this who've seen the video will know exactly what I'm talking about, but go ahead.
Yeah. What the fox says.
You not seen that video?
No, I guess
Oh, you're in for a treat.
I just learned about the honey badger like a year and a half ago. So I'm kind of
you're in for a treat.
Yeah. So that being said, though, this is the GameFans Podcast number 20. We've got a whole lot to talk about in the world of gaming. Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony have a lot going on, and just other ramblings from the three of us. Thank you for joining us. Let's get started. I always wait for that. It puts the wind in my sail. So, let's see what we have on the docket here. We've got some new releases to talk about. Let's start with Sony. That means you, Nick.
Oh, man. Put me on the spot. New releases. So, new releases for the week. PS3 got one retail game, it looks like. No, two. My bad. Cabela's African Adventures, which also shows up on PSN as a digital download. We also got Champion Jockey and Gallop Racer, I believe it's called. Yeah, that one's also on PSN, if I'm not mistaken. In addition to that, PlayStation finally got The Wolf Among Us. That came out on Xbox last week, the end of the week, and I believe PC.
Why did I do that?
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
And last, but I don't know about not least, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Is
on
it the
Vita.
Cedric the Entertainer edition or Regis Feldman edition?
It's just Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh,
I'm going to say
But,
it's still
yeah.
around.
Yeah. So Vita got Valhalla Knights 3, which supposedly takes place in a prison. And that's also available as a digital download on PSN if you prefer. Finally, Angry Birds Trilogy is on Vita. Yeah. So
I
opinions
love
aside.
these sound effects that Mark's doing.
I don't
You should
know,
continue this.
I'm sleep deprived right now. I am not intoxicated. I am just tired. So we're gonna probably have random outbursts here. So yeah, Angry Birds, that's good stuff there. Moving on to Microsoft retail releases, I see a goose egg. Something probably went down somewhere in this awesome world of ours.
I think everybody's just getting ready for the next gen stuff. You know.
Apply this. If something released for the Xbox and Xbox 360 and we missed it, sorry, but nothing too big released. As far as live games, let's see. Oh, wait a minute. No. I'm sorry. Some things did release. It's just me being sleepy, stumbling through things. We've got Air Conflicts Vietnam. Like I said that, like Forrest Gump, Vietnam. Lego Marvel Superheroes Wipeout Create and Crash.
I'm curious about that one, actually, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
You watched the game show?
A little bit, and
Is
it
that
is
really
like
a game
it's
show? Or is it just
no,
more like
it's
a torture show.
It's just entertainment. It's side-splitting entertainment. You have to really be into that kind of humor, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
You
like
remember
one
that-
of
like
the Japanese game shows that's
Mhm.
been Americanized.
Yep,
Yeah.
that show is great.
Mhm.
I'm a big fan of it. Carry on. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. And we've got Cabela's African Adventures. That's also coming to the Xbox 360. Worms, The Revolution Collection. Skylanders Swap Force. And that's it for retail releases.
Yeah, the Skylander stuff did come out over the weekend, and I was at Costco and noticed it in Costco too. If people are looking for it, you might want to check your local Costco and see what kind of deal they have.
And if you're not a member, you can do one of those. Is it like a 3-day trial they do? I think.
For Costco?
Costco. I think they do like a 3-day freebie or something like that.
Maybe. I have no
I
knowledge
know
of that
somebody did
whatsoever.
that to like buy like a Nexus 7 when they first came out. I think that's what. Yeah, I think it was them. Okay, yeah, moving along. Xbox Live Arcade, Alien Rage. That's an alien raging.
Is that your alien noise?
I know. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? We don't know who's
Again?
hosting it, but it's again.
It's a
And-
generic host.
Yeah, Cedric the
Yeah.
Entertainer's hosting it right now, Ashley. Just
Well,
so
oh,
you
you're
know.
talking about the show. I'm talking about the game, of course.
Yeah, but
What am I
we
doing
got,
talking about gangs? How ridiculous. I should stop
yeah,
talking about
we
games
had
right
what
now.
was it? What was it? Regis Feldman originally, and was it Katie Kirk? One of those. Some it was a female host, and now Cedric the Entertainer. So yeah, that show's just doing its thing. And finally, rounding out the Xbox Live Arcade releases, we've got Hexidius. Did I say that correctly?
Hmm. It kind of looks like it looks like a shooter with some of the screenshots I was looking at in XBLA or the Xbox.com or whatever. But it
Mm-hmm.
it also looks like one of those hexagonal turn-based strategy games. So I couldn't tell you what it is, but it does look interesting.
Yeah. Oh, and one little tidbit to add, if I can recall, Halo 3 is the game with gold or whatever they call it thing. So you can get an old game if you're Xbox Live Gold subscriber. You can get a game from like 7 years ago. Or no, 4 years. No, four or five. Yeah, you can get a game from a long time ago.
Game's a game.
Yeah, true. So yeah, that's what's going on with Microsoft. Let's talk about Nintendo, Ashley.
So there weren't any like major releases for Wii U this week, but next week on Tuesday, Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut is coming, and
Ah.
they actually sent me a review copy for this. So Monday, my review for that will go up. I'm really excited about that.
Wow.
The
Ooh.
embargo on it lifted today, but I only got the review copy like 4 days ago, and the
Hmm.
game is so huge, it's not enough time to get a review up. So,
Yeah. I'm
um,
I'm all for taking time on those,
No, it shows you take pride in what you're doing. Anybody can
Yeah.
go through a
To
game.
to
well,
hell with the embargoes.
I've played the game before when it released in 2011. I played it on PlayStation 3, but one of the nitpicky things that I had about that release was that the boss battles were so terrible, and that's one of the things that they're supposed to have revamped. So I definitely want to get to experience all those just so I can see what it's all about. Because I think there's like 4 or 5 boss battles, and the end boss battle was really, ugh, I don't even want to think about that again. So.
Yeah.
As for eShop releases, Mighty Switch Force 2 from Way Forward is $5.99, and they were really excited about this one. They're tweeting a lot about it, so if you were a fan of the first game, definitely check that out. As for Virtual Console, we have Urban Champion and Clu Clu Land. I have no idea what those are, but they're there.
Urban Champion sounds familiar.
I think they're Nintendo, like regular NES games.
Yeah.
They're way back when.
Me being the middle child of this group, I'm surprised I remember that Nick didn't. And that name, doesn't that sound familiar?
No, I didn't get every game for the Nintendo.
No, but I mean, back then there was like games. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a ton of games we've never ever seen for the NES, but I mean, certain games I can name like Urban Champion. I don't know. It's Urban Champion.
Are you thinking of Shaq Fu? No, I'm kidding.
No, Shaq Fu wasn't that like Sega Genesis or like Super
It
Nintendo?
was on Super Nintendo too.
Yeah, Shaq Fu.
As for the 3DS, of course, we had Pokemon X and Y, and I have spent tons and tons of time with that over the weekend. Really excited about that.
Hmm.
So,
Have you
those are
experienced any of those like corrupt save file issues I've been reading about?
no, but I never really saved in Lumino City, which is the city that people are talking about corrupts their save file.
Uh-huh.
So, when I was reading about that on Reddit, I was seeing people were having problems. I was like, okay, you don't save there. So
Mhm.
I just kind of breezed on through and went and did my thing.
Yeah. I wish I would have read some stuff before I started playing Assassin's Creed on Vita, because there's similar stuff like that, kind of show
I
stopping.
saw that Nintendo is planning on releasing a patch for it, so it shouldn't be a problem for too long. They tend to take care of their gamers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nintendo for
Remember
the
back in the NES days when nothing was patched and there was
Well,
no
you
online
couldn't
gaming.
patch it.
Oh
Yeah.
man, do you guys remember that generation? It's like, dude, a game was broken. It was just broken. You were just
That was the
8 out.
generation of
Say that.
urban legends too. Like there's this kid on the playground talking about this rare Pokemon, and you're like, oh, how do you get it? And he's got all
Yep.
this convoluted way to go get this Pokemon, and you don't know if he's lying or he's telling the truth. Now
Yes.
you just go on GameFAQs.com and look it up.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, we veer here anyways. We do that. That reminds me of like NBA Jam when that first came out. That game was such a big deal, and everybody was like, "Oh, there's a code to play as Michael Jordan. No,
Yep.
there's a code to play as Shaq." And you go through all this crazy stuff. There's that urban legend like you have to beat the game and by only shooting half-court shots and do all these stupid things, and then you enter this code, then you hold down A, then you push up when you start the thing at the title screen. None of that stuff worked.
Yeah.
Well, you can thank Midway for all the twisty-twirly ways of unlocking characters in the first place.
You can play a
Naming urban
Sub-Zero. He
legends.
freezes the ball.
Well, yeah, there were rumors much like that for Mortal Kombat too. Sexualities were the one. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Silly stuff.
Memories.
But Ashley and I were talking about something before you joined us, Mark. Today is well, I'm not doing the math, but
today's Friday the 18th of October.
Today in 1985, the NES was released in North America. So it's almost its birthday.
28 years old.
28 years old.
Same
Thank
age
you.
that I am.
Nintendo.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Oh wow, you just outed yourself. There you go.
Whatever.
Okay, so
I'm
look, we're doing like
28.
this. Speaking of ages, I'm 31. Nick, how old are you?
I'm 34 this week.
As of
I'm the
when?
baby.
As of when?
As of when? A Wednesday?
Happy birthday, Nick.
Happy birthday,
thank
boy.
you.
Did you get that FedEx package I sent you?
I did not.
Oh, well, I'm gonna give you a tracking number or something for that. Yeah.
I
Send him
should
another
give you my
snowball.
mailing address next time. It might help.
Yeah. True that. So,
Nice try.
keeping things moving here, though. Pokemon was a big dealio, but let's talk about some news.
Shall we? I've got some Sony news if you're interested in listening.
Yeah, why not?
All right, so this was kind of a crazy week, and I will get to that at the end. I've only got a few bullet points. I noticed you guys got a lot. I only have 3. So first up, Sony began their marketing with videos and whatnot this past week. The campaign they're going with is "Greatness Awaits," and you can throw up air quotes for that because they actually have it like, what do you call it? Copywritten or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a trailer for Greatness. There's a new Greatness Awaits trailer, which shows 2 guys.
2 bros.
Yeah, in like a game world. Like they are LARPing, I guess you could say, at the beginning, like Dragon's Age or whatever. They're both dressed up and they're fighting each other, and then one dude's on the ground, and they're also singing at the same time. So it's sort of tongue-in-cheek humor, but they're singing about, I don't know, playing and they're playing
broing
together.
down, man.
Yeah, they're broing down.
Who's this
And
one?
then it snaps to the same 2 guys in a car, I believe.
Which
They're both
we
in
assume is
separate cars.
Club.
Yeah, it's totally Driveclub. So when the one dude derails the other guy on a barrier, his car flips over, and on the hood you can see the Driveclub logo.
Product placement.
Product placement, yeah. So, and they're also singing while in the car. It's like one continuous song, and then the next one, I'm probably gonna forget one, but Killzone. They're in like
Killzone's next, and I think that's it, right?
yeah, they're in the Killzone universe, and one dude's got like red glasses on to make him look like Helgan. The other guy's, the ESA or whatever, and they're shooting at each other, and yeah, it's a pretty epic video. It's not like groundbreaking. It doesn't like give me goosebumps. As a Sony fanboy, it doesn't give me goosebumps or anything like that. But
it beats the brakes off the crying baby.
yeah. Oh man, those
I don't
PS3
know
ads.
if you guys remember the PS3 Michael commercial, but that was my favorite one. Where
Those
all
were
the
good.
characters,
Yeah.
all the characters are around sitting in a bar talking about all the things.
Oh yeah,
that they did.
yeah. Those are awesome.
Yeah,
Those are
Kratos was there, and you got a dude from
Drake,
Resistance.
Resistance, yeah. Those are awesome.
There- Infamous was there.
A couple speaking. I think the little boy, not the little boy, the
Nathan
young
Drake.
soldier was like a Call of Duty guy or something. I don't know.
You know
Yeah,
what's
Nathan
funny?
Drake was there too.
I can literally think back, at least going back to the Sega Dreamcast, about all the console commercials. Like I remember them. That shows how that shows my nerd credits, got to be going up. You guys remember the Dreamcast commercials where they showed Brian Grant, the basketball player? He was with the Portland Trailblazers then, and he's got like his animated dreads, his digitized dreads, and he's standing there. And Sonic and Tails walk up. They're all talking about it, and then they announce it, and they're talking about the Dreamcast. And then they also have the Japanese variant. This girl's running with the briefcase, and she falls, and it opens up, and there's the Dreamcast. You can see like the whopping 56K modem that's connected to it. See that? You guys don't remember that?
No.
I don't remember Dreamcast commercials.
And then original Xbox, they had like this big green thing for them, and then you hear people talking about, it just looks so real. The skin looks like skin. The sweat looks like sweat. And then the big green X comes up. You guys don't remember this stuff?
No.
I think I remember that one, but
Yeah,
vaguely.
I was just like, oh God, I'm buying that thing.
Yeah.
So, and
Those are what ads are for, to get you excited for the products. So.
Then I'm trying to remember the PS2's ads. I'm trying to remember that. You guys remember those, Nick?
I don't remember. It was so long ago.
Yeah, Microsoft had the Jump In campaign going on where they had water balloon fights and Teddy Bear's Picnic playing in the background for 360. You don't remember that?
Nope.
No.
Somebody, hey, whoever's listening out there, you remember that. Somebody else does.
We have some listeners that hopefully
Mark
remember.
needs validation. You guys remember that?
I believe you. I'm sure they're there if you YouTube search them.
You know what? We are going to create. I'm not we. No. You know what? We are going to create a commercial mashup now.
We want to play with you. How about that commercial?
I remember that commercial.
Yeah.
And then
That freaked me out. That was kind of freaky. Like a couple Asian guys just strolling into
It's
some.
so memorable, though. I mean, it
some
is a little bit
family's home.
creepy, but
Yeah, totally. But they're just like,
memorable.
we went to play. What they do? Hand them controllers or something, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
They bow.
young fella. Little,
And then, of course, at the end of the commercial, the two eyes on Wii, they bow too.
Yeah. So friendly, those guys. But moving on to bullet point number 2, there is a group of indie developers that formed, I guess, a studio for this one game. Die Gut Fabrik are releasing Sports Friends. They're a compilation of couch co-op indie games that have sort of an 8-bit or you could say Atari vibe to them. But they're very modernized. The frame rate, the gameplay is very smooth. And these games are ultra addicting. They're so much fun to play, especially with friends. And there's no online with these. Let me preface that. It's all couch co-op, classic retro style gaming.
School, though,
yeah, to get people to game together. It's not so much about like distancing yourself from friends, but invite your friends over and play some hilarious games. So the games in the setup, originally it was announced for PC and PS3, I do believe. Super Pole Riders, you got Barabari Ball, Hokra, and then the piece de resistance, depending on which game you prefer the most, but Johann Sebastian Joust, which has no graphics whatsoever. The TV
You play
is
it with Move controllers.
yeah. You have to have the Move controllers, and the object of the game is I'm going to use my water bottle, but you're holding the Move controller upright, and basically, if it gets jostled in any way like that, or bumped or moved, the Move controller will detect it, and the light will turn like red, and you're done. You're out of the game.
Yeah.
And so everybody's moving around in a circle with one free hand to use as like offensive or defensive, and their other hand holding the Move controller sort of behind them to protect it from being bumped. And you're all kind of circling each other, and there's music playing, and the music is sort of telling you when you can move and whatnot. So it's pretty fun to watch and to play.
I played it last year at E3. There was a group at Indiecade playing it, and it's really pretty fun.
Yeah. So that's going to be on there, and it's so now the package is coming to PS3. We have already known, and now it's officially coming to PS4. A bigger detail than that is anybody who kickstarted the game originally for PS3 is getting the PS4 copy for free.
Nice.
And they're still thinking about if it's going to be a cross-buy so that everybody can just buy it once and get it on both consoles. But my prediction, it will be cross-buy. I don't see why it wouldn't, because I don't see any difference between the two versions. I don't see how it could be graphically better. They're old school games on PS4. It'd be like an identical experience, except for one small detail. The PS3 supports 7 Bluetooth Move controllers, whereas the PS4 they've only said they're supporting 4 controllers, but they didn't specify if that applies to Move, or if they did specify, then there you go. It only supports 4. So my prediction, they're gonna include it as a cross-buy.
Cool.
Also coming is 4 more old games. Flow was an original PSN game. Flower, both those games are from that game company. The people responsible for Journey, for those of you out there who don't know who they are. Sound Shapes, one of my favorite indie platforming games. It's music-based. And also Escape Plan, which was a lesser-known title that released on Vita exclusively.
Yeah, I have it on Vita. The puzzles are really interesting, so it'll be interesting to see it on PS4.
Yeah, so the only the only thing about all of those, except for Escape Plan, is they're going to be on PS3 as well as PS4 if they aren't already on PS3. So Flow is already on PS3. Flowers are already on PS3, obviously. So actually, Flowers coming to Vita as well to round out the packages. Sound Shapes is already on PS3 and Vita, so that's coming to PS4 now. And then Escape Plan is the only one that's not coming to PS3, and it's likely because of the unique controls. It's all touch-based on the Vita, Mark,
Yep.
so you know. So when they bring it to PS4, they're going to be using the touchpad. You got it. Swiping and sliding and clicking, and
That was my gesture. Yeah.
that's it. So last bit of news for PlayStation. I don't like this news, but
I'm fine with it.
there's positive and there's negative to this. So I mean, it really comes down to which do you guys want to hear? Which should I talk about, the negative or should I talk about the positive?
Vegetables before dessert.
What the hell does that mean?
Negative before positive. Smarty Artie.
Hey, some people love vegetables. My kids love broccoli over ice cream. Is that crazy?
No, that's good.
All right,
means that's great.
All right, so I'm calling this the Delay Station 4 because this week was the worst week as far as delays are concerned. First, Ubisoft announced Watch Dogs delayed to 2014. That was a huge one because I think a lot of people were.
That's a big blow for me because I pre-ordered the PlayStation 4 and the game that I chose to pre-order with it happened to be Watch Dogs.
I care nothing
So
about
the
that
only game that I have now is Assassin's Creed 4.
Yeah,
But
and
you know,
they go ahead.
It just to clarify though, it delayed across all platforms.
Yes.
wasn't like,
It did. It wasn't just PlayStation.
yeah, we don't want to put the spotlight on Sony. Like, hey Sony, you're screwed. No, it delayed
Well,
everywhere.
There's a little bit of spotlight on Sony because retailers, Amazon, had some bundles, and I do believe Game in the UK also had a Watch Dogs bundle, and so now those bundles can't be delivered with Watch Dogs, obviously, but the two retailers have agreed, well, within themselves, to release the console by itself to people based on their position in the queue. So if they released it early, or if they pre-ordered it early, then they're going to get their PlayStation 4 on time with everybody else. They're not going to have to wait simply because they order this SKU that includes a game.
I'm so glad I didn't because I pre-ordered the PlayStation 4 from Amazon before that bundle was announced, and when the bundle came out.
Didn't we do it because I pre-ordered mine at E3?
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, so you were 2 doors down doing the same thing.
But when the bundle came out, I was like, should I cancel the single pre-order, and just get, because I was planning on getting Watch Dogs anyway. I'm glad I didn't. So.
Yeah, that was a good move. On top of that, they went ahead and said the Crew is delayed. What happened to my video feed?
I can still see you.
Okay.
Yeah, I still have you.
Never mind. So yeah, the Crew is delayed. That was one of the games at E3 that I was like, wow, that looks really good, man. Ubisoft is knocking it out of the park. But there was never a 2013 release date for this, so it doesn't surprise me that they're coming out and saying it's delayed too. And it's about time that Ubisoft got smart and decided to canter their releases, rather than I always questioned, why are they releasing Assassin's Creed 4 at the same time as Watch Dogs? And these are supposed to be two huge franchises, one more popular than the other. But I mean, everybody's excited about the new IP. Why would they? People might choose one over the other, and that's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad for business. So.
Cannibalizing sales is always bad.
Yeah. So I think this is a good thing. That's the positive, the light at the end of the tunnel, as far as the Ubisoft news is concerned. But on the Sony side, they messed up somewhere, and now Driveclub is delayed. It's officially delayed.
I think the biggest issue with that is that they were promising a stripped-down version to PS Plus subscribers, and that was going to be a big thing for, you come home, you take your PS4 out the package, and if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, you have a bit of Driveclub for free, and now you don't. And that's really disheartening.
So, I mean, take it however you want, positive or negative. But on the plus side, when Shuhei Yoshida jumped on the PlayStation blog to make the announcement, because I guess it took a man of his stature to calmly and professionally announce this news, rather than a developer pleading, for people to, overlook the loss of it at launch and look forward to a more quality product in 2014. He says, additionally, because of the lack of this PS Plus version at launch, it will come out in 2014 when the game releases, mind you. They're giving 2 games, indie games, for free with Plus. And I know, Mark, you don't think it's free, but it's free.
No, it's not, but okay.
So that's a plus. One of them is Resogun, which is a big game that everybody's looking forward to, made by House Marquee. They're the makers of Super Stardust HD on PS3, also on Vita. And the other one is called Contrast, which is not as popular developer, obviously, but this game looks really interesting. It's a side-scrolling, like 2.5D platformer where the female character you're playing as can jump in and out of like shadow and then 3D person and then back into like the shadows, and you use that element to get through the platforming puzzles. So both those are free, and I'm all for that. More games free, the merrier.
I mean, I'm happy they're offering some bit of compensation. It's just, it almost sucks that they tried to get out before Xbox, and now all these major games are getting delayed.
Yeah.
Everybody says Microsoft was rushing.
Well, I have the fortunate.
I knew you would laugh about that, Mark.
No, I mean I like Sony, but it's just funny how people make these big gripes on there. Oh, the Xbox is rushing. How is the older system that came out first, that's getting a successor later, rushing when a system that came out a year later is launching its successor at the same time? How is it rushing? I've never understood that. No, it's just people. I think
there was more to it
coming on. I feel a news break coming on right now.
Hey, there's a rant section for that.
I'm gonna put that in Park.
All right, that's a good idea, because I'm pretty much wrapping up my Sony news, so we can hear from you now what the news is. Your 6 bullet points here, buddy.
Yeah, it's really not that much to it. A few things did happen in the land of box. Phil Spencer talked about cross-platform play, and when I say that, for those of you who don't know, that means playing against it's multiplayer for Xbox One players and PC players. It's not going to be Nintendo and Sony, because that would be too awesome. But it's not going to happen like that. He talked about it making sense. And for those of you who don't know, crossplay has already existed on the 360 and the PS3 in some instances. Some people think, oh, that's never happened. No, it's happened, just very far.
Very, very rare.
Yeah. So
Final Fantasy 14 is one of those. You can play it on just
Shadow Run, I think it was, and some games.
Shadow Run was.
Unreal Tournament.
Yeah, there's been games where there's been a nice little mix, but as much as we'd all like that to be just common and everyday, it's not, at least not yet.
Yep.
Speaking of PC and 360 and cross platforms and all that stuff, Project Spark will be free to play. When I say free to play, I mean really free to play. No subscriptions required. That's on all platforms.
Very nice.
All Microsoft platforms, Windows 360.
Microsoft's Little Big Planet.
Yeah, or whatever you want to call that thing, But let's see. Another thing, speaking of Xbox Live, it won't support real usernames at launch. So you see how if you look down, wait a minute, am I doing that right down there? And come on, you guys do it too.
First world problems, buddy.
Yeah, if you guys, basically you see our names, yeah, those are real names. The Xbox One was initially going to support where... Yeah.
This isn't my real name, by the way.
Ashley King. But,
my real name's Dirk Diggler.
It was gonna initially have it where you can at your discretion display your real name. I personally don't want to do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that online.
I mean, even though we're doing it right now.
But, I would.
This is a bit professional. I mean, we're presenting ourselves on
we don't want
a
to
website.
Say Abazaba Slayer or whatever.
It's like, hi, my name's Doobie Gamer 420, and my name's Ashley King.
Yeah. But it's one of those things to whereas initially both and it's not just Microsoft doing this. Sony's doing this too with the PS4. They're pushing for that too, right? If I can recall.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna do it. Well, it's supposedly having to do with the Facebook integration.
Yeah, so I mean they're trying to match people up, and I get that because both sides are pushing for this whole social network integration. And
well, did you see that Friends app on Xbox?
It's got followers and stuff like that.
That looks pretty cool. I don't know about the separate app part of it, like if you have to jump out and jump in, and I don't know, that's a big deal, but it looks pretty cool though.
Could snap. But yeah, so you're not gonna be able to do that at launch. They're saying there'll be an update sometime down the line. Hello, Miss Nick. But
Miss Nick?
I don't know her name.
Miss Nick.
But there will be an there will be an update available to add that in. And hello again, Miss Nick. But there'll be an update to add that in. So, that'll come later. I didn't really care about that in the first place. So, whatever. Whatevs. Keeping the Xbox Live train rolling here. Dedicated servers for all.
We've known this for a while.
I know, but they affirmed how it's going to work.
He just likes reiterating that, oh my god, dedicated servers.
So is it possible to say dedicated servers for all and then move on?
No.
Or you have to go on about it?
No. There's details of how it's going to work. We didn't really know this. We assumed this.
No. They said outright that every online game was going to have its own dedicated server on Xbox.
Said that they're going to give people options. The developer gets an option to do it.
And see, they didn't say that. That was a while ago. And then this was like a day after they had bought some gigantic server farm or made some server.
Size of like Maine.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. I think they added a state on the end of like Rhode Island or something.
Yeah. But dedicated servers for all developers who wish to use it, or they can use their own solution. So that whole peer-to-peer thing is a thing of the past.
What's the fee they're going to charge developers for using these servers?
No, nothing.
Nothing. So you can have the option to use our servers where we'll maintain them for you and you'll be, good to go. Or you can use your own. Oh, and it's free. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what they claim.
That's hard to believe.
You're out completely because if at some point they decide to shut the servers down, then the online of that game is screwed. You can't do that anymore if there's no peer-to-peer.
Looking for the negative in things. Actually.
I'm just saying. So
paranoid. If so paranoid. But,
you know what? When you can't play Halo 6 after it's released 2 years...
Yeah, if I can't play Halo 6 10 years after it's released, I don't care.
I'm just saying.
Ask MAG players about dedicated servers.
Do you know what? No, you know what? Counter-Strike is nearly, 15 years old. People still love that game. Still being played.
I got you.
The age of a game doesn't matter
as
long as people still want to play it.
But here's the thing. How about we focus on the good of this and not some crazy what-if scenario that hasn't happened?
I was asking a question. I asked a question.
No, you didn't. You made a statement. You was like, this is how it's going to go down.
No, I said if there's no peer-to-peer, does that mean that you can't play that game anymore when they shut the servers off? That was my question.
I will send a message out on that one because that is a really good question. Because does it default to peer-to-peer then, or what happens?
That's what I want to know, if they cut the peer-to-peer out entirely since there's supposed to be default or dedicated servers for everything.
That is an awesome question, actually. You know what? I'm going to drop the mic on that. That's an awesome question.
I wouldn't drop that
then.
mic. That's an expensive mic to be dropping there, buddy.
Yeah. So, moving on for this server thing, Machinima, whatever their thing does when it loads up a video, I kind of really don't like that. But
like unfolds.
Yeah, I just do the sound effects. You're good at that, Nick.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, they also announced an exclusive Wingman app for the Xbox One. Basically, it's one of those things to where you're going through a level, choke point, or a boss or something like that, and you're getting the business brought to you, and you're like, holy shite, what am I going to do? How do I beat this thing? And you're cussing at it. It makes no effing sense. Why is this happening? And then you, wait a minute, where's that? Then you pull out, for those of you who are watching, I have a phone in my hand. You pull out one of these, you go, all right, I'm tired of this crap. I'm going to YouTube and look it up, find out how this works.
Mark's a potty mouth today.
And I'm a censored potty mouth, thank you very much. But so you're looking it up and you're trying to figure it out. Instead of doing that, you just say Xbox, whatever the name of the app is, and it side loads it. And
it says you have to say Xbox Snap Machinima.
Yeah, snap it. But it'll load up the app in a side panel, and basically it'll show you a video. Somehow through magic, it detects what game you're playing and where you're at apparently, and it shows you how to get through the point you're at. And of course, these are Machinima generated videos, so they'll walk you through whatever you're going through. So it's a cheap way to cheat. I call it next gen hand holding. You know what I mean? So it holds your hand when you're stuck, but saves you the trouble of actually going to your computer and looking up a walkthrough or something like that.
Well, this is also something that like Brady games used to do. You know, those things called magazines and game guides where you'd open it up and leaf through all the levels to find.
Brady Games and Prima both were makers of game guides. They actually still sell their game guides online on Steam. So when you buy a game on Steam, you can choose to buy the strategy guide with it, and then load the strategy guide in the Steam overlay. So the Snap Machinima is kind of like that.
Just
Yeah.
the next gen version of it or whatever. So here's the
Yeah.
thing: would you guys use something like that?
No.
It's hard to say without actually having an Xbox One and playing a game and getting to that point where I would need help.
Have you ever went to
But-
YouTube to figure something out? Or
Oh, definitely. Well, GameFAQs.com, just to throw a couple names out there. I'll go to PS3trophies.org is a great site. They also have the Xbox 360 Xbox
True
Achievements.org.
achievements or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, .org.
Ashley, how about you? You ever do anything like that?
I've looked up achievements and things, how to get them. As for like strategies and things, when I was playing through Dark Souls on Xbox, I did not look up strategies because I wanted everything to be fresh for when I
Yeah.
encountered that boss.
I don't think this thing does
But-
achievements though. I think this thing is limited to
Well,
strategies.
the reason why I said those was that's the only scenario I ever use to because I'll get stuck. I might get stuck, but it'll be always related to a trophy. Like, they seem to design the way you unlock achievements and trophies based on difficult parts of the game or whatnot. So it ends up, and like for PS3trophies.org, they have sections where you can comment behind a single trophy. And so you can see if that trophy is, pretty challenging. There'll be a bunch of comments. You click into the comments, and then boom, there's a bunch of strategies on how to get the achievement or how to bypass the enemy. How to get through. It's basically a strategy to get the achievement, but also to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish. So
That's pretty boss.
that's just what I use. So maybe I would use this, but I don't know. I'm gonna go with what Ashley was saying. I prefer reading about it and then coming to my own conclusion rather than watching somebody, which sort of is backfiring because that's what Sony's doing, where I can, quickly go on and view somebody's pre-recorded version of my level or whatever.
Yeah, for games and things like that, I'll read what people say about weapons and things in particular, especially if it's an RPG like Dark Souls.
Right.
But as for going and watching like boss videos and
It's a spoiler.
seeing I don't want a spoiler. So
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been times where I've been super frustrated, like, damn this thing. But you do want to. It's very satisfying to beat something on your own. So that's enough about Microsoft. How about we talk about Nintendo?
there were some pretty big things that went on with Nintendo this week. Most of them were with 3DS, which is not surprising considering Pokemon X and Y released. The big piece of news here is that in 2 days, Pokemon X and Y sold 4 million copies in 2 days.
Wow.
That's worldwide. That's
Wow.
huge.
It's better than a lot of people.
For people that
Yeah.
say Pokemon is not popular, you, sir, are wrong.
And what's funny is I never touch that stuff, but I can only imagine like 4 million people think otherwise.
4 million people can't be wrong.
I didn't get into Pokemon again until I had a regular DS Lite, and I played through Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and then I got Black White and Black 2 and White 2. Those games were okay. They reminded me a lot of the old Pokemon series, but the new Pokemon X and Y is so much different. There's so much added content there that it actually doesn't feel like it's just a reiterated version over and over and over. And that's a real accomplishment there.
Does it feel
considering
like
that the
a
gameplay
4
is still the
million
same.
copy game though?
For a handheld, that's insane.
I mean, does it feel like one in your opinion because you picked it up? You're among the 4 million.
Yeah, I would say so. And you know what? I don't even know if that includes digital copies. That may just be physical copies. I bought it digital, so that may not even include my purchase.
That's crazy. Well,
That is
congrats to them.
crazy.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Of course, we talked about Watch Dogs being delayed when we discussed PS4 news, but this is a big blow to Wii U owners, too, because that was a big title for them in a not very big holiday lineup. I mean, we've got some Nintendo titles coming, but as for third-party titles, it's all been about Ubisoft, basically, and the fact that Watch Dogs was delayed was somewhat of a blow.
Yeah.
Michael Pachter thinks it's a smart move. He said it was to avoid a crowded holiday season. I tend to agree with him.
It's
I
easy
think
to.
that pushing it back to February or March, whenever they plan on launching it, will definitely help. Those months are kind of barren. People are recovering from Christmas shock, basically.
And people get their tax money here. And they're like, oh,
Yeah.
go crazy.
That's a big factor, too. So even though it's delayed, 2 or 3 months, it's still gonna come out. And of course, Ubisoft being the company that they are, I'm sure the gamepad features will be pretty decent.
Yeah.
They were decent in Zombie U. They were great in Rayman Legends, and I expect them to be great in Watch Dogs too. So.
You better meet Ashley's expectations, Ubisoft.
Miiverse got a small update. It now allows you to search for nicknames that people use for their Miis instead of just their Nintendo Network ID. That's not a big change, but it's welcome since it tends to display nicknames on when people post on Miiverse. So if you wanted to see a particular artist, see all of their art, you can search for their nickname. You don't have to know their network ID anymore. So that's pretty great.
Cool.
And this one is, I guess it's kind of a blow for Nintendo, but this is also part of the reason Ubisoft has been in the news so much. But they recently announced that they had poor sales for Rayman Legends and Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell only sold 300,000 copies for all the systems that it was released on.
Yeah, dude, that game was like $30 at Target on the PS3.
They're dropping price quickly because it didn't sell.
It was like $30 or $40.
Mm-hmm. The Wii U version only made up 10K copies. That is abysmal. 10,000. That's crazy. Rayman Legends didn't meet sales expectations either. They didn't say how many copies that it did sell, but they did say that the Wii U version sold the most, which is not surprising considering it was supposed to be a Wii U exclusive. So a lot of people on Wii U were looking for that title.
That's dedication right there. They were told to wait for months and then still bought the game.
Yeah,
I think it would have done better if they had released it in February when it was supposed to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Let the Wii U people buy it, and then if they wanted to do a multi-plat release, do that later for 360 and PS3.
Yeah. That would have been absolutely smart.
Yeah.
So much smarter.
It's like, let's piss everyone off and delay it.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
would have
plenty
sold
of
like
people.
gangbusters on Wii if it was only Wii. Would have sold well.
There were plenty of people that were saying, I'm not going to buy this game now because there's too many things coming out. It came out right before Grand Theft Auto came out.
Mm-hmm.
They were spending their money elsewhere. Some people were mad that it was delayed in the first place, so they didn't even want to support Ubisoft. So, yeah, I think if they had stuck to the original February release date, that it probably would have sold a little bit more on Wii U.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe that's why they delayed Watch Dogs, because they're trying to port it onto Nintendo NES.
Trying to port it to Android.
Yeah, Atari Jaguar.
A small tidbit here. There's going to be more information about Zelda Wii U at E3 2014.
I can hardly wait.
So we have that to look forward to.
They tease Zelda games for like 3 years or whatever. Come on, Nintendo.
People get so excited. Cora!
This is a part where we all pause.
People get so excited about it, though, and it's anytime I post anything about Zelda or mention Eiji Onuma, who is the series producer, people just get so excited they want to hear what he has to say, especially considering he's been talking about Wind Waker HD and how that's going to influence Zelda Wii U. So it'll be interesting to see how that title turns out, if they have any trailers or screenshots, something to show people. There has not been any...
I need a playable demo if you're making me wait to June 2014.
That would be such a good thing. I mean, that's what you used
to rise through the ground. Say, hey.
That's what really used to get people excited for these games, was demos.
Yeah. But I don't want to see them show me concept artwork like a year from now. I don't want to see that.
People are going to be really excited about that, though. So, the other big piece of news that I have is a Link Between Worlds 3DS XL bundle has been released. I don't know if you guys have seen that 3DS XL, but it is pretty baller.
Is it the blue one?
Top of it.
You are shocking me with these words. I've heard you say baller recently. I guess that's your thing. I didn't know that. You know what I mean?
The top of it is Zelda Gold, and it has the gold Triforce pattern on it, and the bottom of the 3DS is black.
Okay.
And it has a black Triforce on it, because there's going to be high roll and low roll in A Link Between Worlds. And so when you open it like this, you see, I don't have my 3DS with me, so you see the two the Triforce is back to back. It's really interesting.
So
I
this
think
one
I'm thinking of the Pokemon bundle. It's blue.
this might be the one to make me do it. I might get it.
That
Pokemon
design
3DS.
is seriously, if you like Zelda games, I mean, it comes with A Link Between Worlds, so if you were keen on getting a 3DS, I would definitely go for that one.
But here's the problem. It's not coming to America. Or
No,
is
it is. It is. It was confirmed today. It's coming to America.
Oh.
Sweet.
It was in a GameStop advertisement. So
Well, no.
there you go.
But wait, no. But it has not been officially announced. Is that correct?
Not officially for America, but the thing in Europe wasn't officially announced either, I don't think. I think someone got a hold of some concept art.
All right.
Well, that's even worse.
It's hard to trust stuff on this here internet, though, man. You know, next thing you
No,
know, it's like,
I'm talking about the internet's always right.
I have faith it's coming, believe me.
She's
hope
excited for it. Don't quell her excitement.
All right, so
I am excited for it, even though I already own a 3DS XL. I'm excited for people that
I'll give
can
you
buy this.
$70 for that thing now.
No. No. Get out, Mark. Get out.
So I'm gonna start putting up $10 a month for this golden 3DS.
Do it. Do it. It's gonna be released.
Return your Xbox One pre-order.
No.
It's gonna be released next month, and you're gonna have $10 and be like, oh.
Oh crap! Yeah, so I'll start putting up $110 each month until I have the money for it.
Yep.
Yeah. Baller.
So what?
Give it. Yeah. Wait. No. Do it again. Please do it again.
I just did it. Why would I do it again?
No, because me and Nick both started gone and stuff. We need you to do that again, please.
I'm good. I can move on.
Go ahead. I'll surprise you with it.
Yeah. So what are we playing?
Okay, so keeping this shindig going here. We've had a lot go down between the filming and recording of this. So the news is done. The news is a wrap. Let's talk about what we've been playing.
Yeah. I've been playing Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation still. I finally beat it, but apparently I didn't get the good ending according to the game. I hate
You know why? Because you didn't listen to the dialogue.
that.
Click.
I listened to a lot of the dialogue, but I just wanted to go and run and just,
I'm gonna call you Nick the Click because you click through dialogue.
That wasn't it. I think that you just have to collect all the stuff, and I still have to heal people in the bayou, and there's all these, GTA side questy stuff that I still have to do. But the most frustrating thing that I voiced on Twitter this morning, and I got, the same feedback, was I'm discovering that this game is so buggy. It's so buggy. It explains why people gave it kind of lower scores. Because otherwise, it's a great game. It's just it's buggy. Like, I'll put the marker on the map on a treasure, and then I'll go to the treasure and I'll pick it up, and the treasure icon is still on my map, and it won't go away forever. It's there, and I picked it up. So now I'm running around the map, and I'm like, oh, there's a treasure I didn't get. I'll run. Oh wait, I got this already. Ah, man. So there's like 3 or 4 treasures that won't remove themselves from my map, and then on top of that, I just read something where you do these little side quests where you heal the people in the bayou. They got some disease and they're going crazy. And the first thing you have to do is take them down, like beat them up and take them down, and then you administer them these mushrooms.
Wait. Somebody's like all sick and on their.
Oh, they're flailing. They're flailing their arms around. They're
at death's door, and here you come. I'm healing you.
Yeah. Yeah, like a local guy says, I need you to take them down. They're crazy. You have to hold them to give them the mushrooms. And so I'm giving them mushrooms from the bayou to heal them. And that's like the herb.
That sounds like a good combination.
Wow.
But so the thing that I read was that I have to actually go and find all the mushrooms first before I do this takedown thing. And I'm allowed to do the takedown thing. So basically, they just made it so that I can break the game without knowing I broke the game. So now I went around and I took down 3 or 4 guys thinking I was healing them. But in fact, according to what I read, I don't have any mushrooms on me. I have to go find the mushrooms so that when I do take them down, I can give them mushrooms.
Doom.
So I may be screwed there too, and I have to start over.
Well, I hope when they bring that game to PlayStation 3, they fix some of that.
And I think those are the things that they were talking about without mentioning specific bugs.
So it morphs into Seth Rogen and James Franco the game at some point.
Totally. That
was my Seth.
So I also was playing Orc Attack Flatulent Rebellion that came out a couple weeks ago on PSN and Xbox Live Arcade. I cannot recommend this game at all. maybe maybe you thought I'd say I can't recommend it enough. No, don't play it, please. I mean, the only thing it has going for it is fairly decent 4-player hack and slash gameplay, both online and local co-op. But
flatulence in the title.
It's extremely raunchy, tongue-in-cheek humor. It's that part aside, like, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of people that are like offended by, all the farting sounds and the fact that the menus are telling you how to fart the right way, and you have to like belch flame or whatever to ignite the farts, and yeah, there's that part of it, but the game overall is just so slow. The menus, the movements of the characters, there's just enemies that come like barrages of it. It feels like 100 enemies at a time, and you're just hacking them, same button mashing them up, and it just doesn't feel like I'm going anywhere. It feels like I'm just dragging through the mud, and it's funny because the story has to do with, the humans are polluting the water, and that's why the orcs have gas, and they have to eliminate the humans so they can, reclaim the land and get the pollutants out. And it's got a decent message, which is kind of ironic, but yeah, it just drags. The whole game just drags.
That doesn't sound like my type of game, so thank you.
Like
I'll pass.
The last but not least, you mentioned my birthday, Mark. I appreciate that. I got Disney Infinity from my wife, and my daughter was absolutely super excited.
Mrs. Nick, you're so sweet.
So I've been playing that, and my daughter's been loving it, and she gets it as a reward after she does her homework.
Good.
So it's been a good thing. And she also got me the Jack Skellington figure, which actually came out came out last weekend, and she gave it to me on Saturday. So some of my friends were like, "How'd you get that already?" And it's out. GameStop has them.
It's like Miss Nick knows what she's doing. That's what it is.
Yeah, but just in case on record, I had a problem with my first statue, my first figurine. It didn't work. I put it on the base, didn't load into the game. Wow. So
I had all the first gen Skylanders for the Skylanders game, and I never encountered that problem, so that's interesting.
Yeah, wow. It just wouldn't work, so I took it back to GameStop and replaced it, and the new one works like a charm. So I only found one thing on a forum, Disney Infinity's fans forum, about that.
Add some Disney bucks or something for that.
Oh well, I took a picture of my Disney Infinity setup, and I don't know if you guys follow me on anything, other than Twitter, but I actually tweeted it out too, and put it on Instagram and stuff, and I actually put at Disney Infinity, and they retweeted, they reshared the photo on Facebook, and no, it was a picture of my working one, and he was standing in the middle in his pose, whatever pose he has, and then I put all my other characters and a couple of my friends' characters too. A couple of them are pointing, so I had them pointing at Jack Skellington. And then in the tweet or in the message it said, this is the new boss in town. I did the blur effects and stuff. It was really cool picture. And yeah, they reshared it, and then they messaged me asking if they could use the picture in some marketing or whatever. So have at it.
This is why Facebook paid the big bucks for Instagram.
Yeah, no, it was a good picture, and it's a fun game, and Jack Skellington's pretty cool. He only works in the toy box, unfortunately. Wish that wasn't the case, but I understand. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Ashley?
Pokemon X. I can't gush enough. I love all the new features, but Deus Ex Wii U. Without giving too much away, I have been enjoying it. The gamepad features that Square Enix advertised so heavily actually are pretty interesting. It's not just your standard inventory map combo, It actually has some pretty deep Miiverse integration, which is something a lot of games don't do. The last game that I can think of that actually had that deep Miiverse integration that was a third-party game was Resident Evil Revelations. So I'm excited to finish that this weekend and get the review up on Wii U Daily.
Super.
Nice.
So guess what I've been playing?
What have you been playing?
I've been playing Wind Waker HD and GTA 5.
Are you just sailing around?
No, it's just the thing is, I can only squeak in like 40 minutes here, an hour there if I'm lucky because, the whole family life, you know what I mean? It's one of those
Yeah.
things. So I played Wind Waker HD last night, actually. It's one of the Wind Waker HD is one of the few games that's like appropriate to play around my 1-year-old, or my 15 and a half month old or whatever she's 1, but yeah. She looks at the screen and she sees all these like colors and she's just like, "Oh, it's so cute." She walks up to it and I'm doing the look. She does that. So,
A little
and
wobble.
yeah, and it's one of those things. So I can play this in front of her. I forgot how good the game is, but the only thing ticking me off with Wind Waker HD, and I probably said this before, I repeat myself, it's an OCD thing, I guess, but all the damn text that comes in a Zelda game.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's an RPG. I mean,
We know hell is frozen over when Link speaks. Like the world is going to end. The end is nigh.
if someone gets Link and Gordon Freeman to talk, the world is over.
Like if like I'm about to say Nick, if Link speaks at E3 2014, the end is nigh.
I've got a prediction for you. One of these days in one of these games, maybe this is the next Zelda that the creator was talking about, how he said that it needs a change. Maybe he'll start speaking, and when he opens his mouth, he'll sound like Hubert.
I'm just saying, I give him Morgan Freeman's voice. That'll just really turn everybody off.
We must take the cave.
Yeah. So, but yeah, playing that still. In GTA, I just can't get enough of that. I mean,
have you played it online yet?
No, I'm about to. I am about to. I steer.
Warm it up, Chris.
Yeah. That's
it looks good online. It looks fun. I mean, it looks like the same game, but you get to do it with people.
Yeah,
yep.
And I mean, everything
And
I've
there's
seen
leveling up and
online,
stuff.
it's actually been cool from like people I've talked to and all that stuff. It's like, it seems really fun. But yeah, that's it. So, one thing, I did say I had a rant coming, and I think my rant's like toned down now. I don't even remember what the hell I was going to rant about. That was a good strategy on you guys' part. Like, we got to stop this rant.
Yeah.
But I will ask you this. And this is just totally
Maybe
off topic.
time will allow next show.
Yeah, maybe I'll just hold on to the anger, huh? Hold on to it, and then I have a little keloid growing out my neck.
Keep it inside of you.
Just pinch it off. Just pinch it off.
Yeah, squeeze real tight and pinch it off. Let me see. Oh, that sounded really
Be a
nasty.
Sith, Mark.
Yeah. But game of the year. I mean, we're in the 10th month of the year.
Yep.
So the year's rounding up. The folks at IGN, I'll call them out by name, IGN, they posted something where there was a post about The Last of Us versus GTA as game of the year, like which is better, da-da-da. As someone who's played both games, I think The Last of Us is a good game. I'd even go as far as saying there's some great there. But GTA is just like, it's an experience. That's just my take. You guys.
Well, think about like which one delivered the most
GTA.
on all playfields. Exactly. And I think people knew what to expect, and it blew their expectations out of the water.
There's just so much you can do. I mean, like it's one of those things. It's not just that. It's one of those things to whereas, like The Last of Us was a survivor horror game that got it right.
We should do something every time he says that. Like have a bell noise or or donate $1 to a charity.
You know what? It's one of those things where I tell you guys to go to hell.
I'm glad we could laugh about it. Sorry, go.
Nah. You know what? I'm going to listen to this podcast thoroughly, and I'm going to count. I'm going to have a little clicker.
Hey, you've been pretty good. Speaking of clickers.
Yeah, you saw that. Yeah, you caught that. Good eye, good ear. It's one of those. No, I'm just kidding. So basically, though, the game itself. I'm like, why are they laughing at me? Oh, that's why. So the game itself, though, it's nice. It's a survivor horror game to get it right, and we have not had that in a long time because the stories. We've had games that are like fun or pretty, but the story sucks or the mechanics are bad. Like pretty much the last 3 Resident Evil games, whatever. Like the story, blah.
Well, that's because Resident Evil and Capcom have been chasing Call of Duty, and they've turned them into more of an action title than a survival horror title. Even the
Silent Hill. What do you think of Silent Hill?
The first 4 Silent Hill games up to Silent Hill: The Room were actually pretty great. I have not played any of the ones past that.
But that's my point though. It's the game. It's a survivor horror that got it right and had great voice acting and memorable characters. But if you strip that away, it's a good game. I think people are I think it's a bit overrated. I'm not gonna. That's the best way. I like the game a lot, but I think it's overrated because people make such a big deal about this game. It didn't change anything. It just did it very well. Like the Naughty Dog does, they always do. They always make great games. That's what Naughty Dog does. But to say like, hey, to compare it to GTA, that's I don't care. And I'll probably get stoned by people for saying this, but it's like whatever. I mean, GTA.
Well, I think everyone's game of the year is relevant to their own tastes. Like, I probably, if I had played Grand Theft Auto, I would not choose it as my game of the year simply because half the time that those games have stories that I don't care for. They're just.
I got you. Because you said you didn't care for San Andreas. I remember you saying you didn't care for that.
The Grand Theft Auto games are fun in terms of gameplay, but the story and things that they tell, which is tend to what I base Game of the Year on, is just not that great. So I can't judge Grand Theft Auto 5 because I haven't played it.
Yeah.
And
well, this is one worth checking out. You're missing out, I'd say. Definitely.
I'll get it probably when it drops in price. I can't see paying full price for a game that I haven't enjoyed since Vice City.
Now you're gonna get stoned for saying that.
Vice City's a good one though.
Yeah. So...
I mean, and it's not like Rockstar doesn't make amazing open world games with great storylines. Because Red Dead Redemption, when it came out in 2010, that was my game of the year.
That's the best game.
And
this
that's from
cycle.
Rockstar.
I'm sticking to that.
So.
Argument.
If the Grand Theft Auto 5 story was on par with what was told in Red Dead Redemption, I might be more eager to play it. But I know it's not. So
it's just a really good game though. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption, that's my game of this gen.
Yeah, that was a great game, honestly.
Did you play that game, Nick?
I'm playing it now.
It's fantastic, right?
I've just started it. I haven't gotten to that point where it's fantastic yet. I've just been running around and doing little missions, and it just feels like GTA on a horse.
He's probably still at Bonnie's farm doing things for her.
Yep. Yeah, I left the farm and did something when she asked me to take her to another town, but that's right at the beginning.
She teaches you how to herd cattle, and then after that, you kind of get into the story, and it's a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely play it some more then.
How's the? I'm going to ask you something because I don't know if they ever fixed that. How's the game look?
Oh, it looks sharp.
Because
the
game was sub HD on the PS3.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, it does look sub HD. I guess you could say it doesn't look shiny and purple like a Halo game, but
shiny purple.
It kind of plays nicely well to the dirty.
I had a friend. I kept hyping the game up, trying to get him to play, and he only has a PlayStation. And I know you're a PlayStation gamer, and he kept complaining about how the game looked, but there was a technical issue with the PS3 version. I just don't know if they fixed it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I played it on 360.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Microsoft heyday, so I wouldn't know.
I'd have to dig through the patch changelogs to tell you.
Just for me, my game list, GTA, BioShock Infinite, and then probably The Last of Us. That's my 3. You guys?
The Last of Us is definitely up there for me. I really enjoyed that game. It's kind of had a slow start, but once I got into it, I had a really hard time putting it down.
Mm-hmm.
And the story really pulled at me. I know people say, oh, gameplay should be above story, but I'm one of those people that plays a game to experience the story when it comes to titles like that. And BioShock Infinite was the same way. The gameplay was a little bit lagging, but I really enjoyed the story that was told, and I'm looking forward to the DLC that's coming up. The Burial at Sea DLC. So I think it would have to be between those two. I mean, as much as I enjoy Pokemon X, it's not a game of the year simply because it's a reiteration. It's the same problem that I have with Grand Theft Auto. They just continually improve on it to the point where, okay, this is Grand Theft Auto. Here's some improvements.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I can't choose any of those games you listed. I didn't really play any of them, and I'm not.
I say The Last of Us. You should finish it.
Yeah, I know, but what happened with The Last of Us is I let my friend borrow it, before I got like 30% into it, and he hasn't given it back because he can't stop playing it.
Hey, Nick's
Yeah.
friend, give him his damn game back.
He loves the game. Yeah, but that's fine though because I bought it for the both of us to play, and he is playing it right now.
Aw.
He's playing the online. He bought the DLC this past week, and he's hardcore into that stuff. And I know
Cool.
he loved Uncharted 3 and the
Yeah.
online. He couldn't stop playing the online, so I figured he's gonna love this game. I know it, just because Naughty Dog delivers great stories.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
not
that's one of the
necessarily
reasons they're my favorite developer.
it's not necessarily great gameplay that they're delivering. It's a great story. So the same could be said about like Beyond Two Souls. It's, great story. It's not so much about the technology, but they do make a
Yeah.
big deal about that.
There's certain games that I play for the gameplay, like Dark Souls, Demon Souls. Those games I play for the gameplay, and then there are other games that I play for the story.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah, so if you were to rate The Last of Us based on story, very few games come close to the story that Naughty Dog can deliver and piece together, and then you start to whittle out toward gameplay or toward the looks of the game and stuff like that. It's still all very grand in scale, but yeah, it's mostly I think for them about the story. So if you're gonna pick The Last of Us, pick Naughty Dog, it's for the story. It's not because they invented some new pulse rifle or something, because they just didn't.
No, but the game is
But
still good.
yeah, my picks would be an indie title. I really had a lot of fun with a lot of these smaller, $10 games, and some of them were like really jaw-dropping to me because I've been playing these AAA games for a long time, and none of them are really jaw-dropping. Like I play them and they're fun, and I get what I expected out of it, and that's it. But some of these little indie titles, I sort of lower my expectations, and I'm like, okay, this is just going to be a quick game. It's going to be like a demo almost. And then I end up playing a game like Knit Underground, or Knit Underground as they call it. And it's like a really fun, epic, game it's not small by any means, but at the same time, it is kind of small scaled. But the way they design the game, where you play 3 chapters, and the first 2 chapters you play as a man, and then you play as a ball, and then the third chapter it opens up like Grand Theft Auto, and you're a man who can change into a ball, and it's like crazy platforming and really gorgeous simplistic graphics. I don't know, that game was more gripping to me than the intro to The Last of Us or any other game that I've played this year, to be honest.
Well, you just made somebody really happy if the devs working on that.
Nicholas Nygren is a good developer, and he's working on more stuff. So yeah, I personally, that one hit home for me. I'm big with pinball, but that came out I think last year.
I was waiting for the pinball game.
I mean, if I could, if we had DLC of the year or something, then maybe I'd pick, one of the new DLC payables or something. But yeah, good call.
So, speed run here. Sidebar that we have where we pretty much talk about stuff that's not gaming. I'll go first. I'll say that. Watched the movie called The Call with Halle Berry. You guys heard of that one? Halle Berry Call. Yeah, it
Who's
was
Halle
okay.
Berry?
Whatever. But it was okay. She's a 911 operator. She for
okay.
LAPD. And the funny thing is, my wife works for the city of Los Angeles. So a lot of the stuff that they showed, she's like, "Oh God, I see that building every day," or "That's a real building," or "That's real, that's real." Wow, her badge is real, like the employee badge. Like she was just like, "Oh God, I can't get away from work." Movie was okay. 911 operator. She gets a call. This guy is mangling some poor young girl, pretty much breaking and entering, and stuff goes south. And she feels really guilty about like not handling the call the right way. And
she followed protocol rather than her gut, right?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
And basically, this is of course psychopaths are always serial psychopaths, so it's never just like a one-off. Who does a one-off when murdering people? But yeah, so something happens again later on. Time goes on, and like it happens again, and she happens to get the call, and it's on this big thing. But it's okay. I mean, I watched it on cable, so it wasn't like, oh, I waited in line to see it. Oh, I hear some sweet sounds in the background.
You won't hear it in the podcast. I muted myself.
Sweet. But But yeah, but that was pretty cool for what it was. But the real big news, got another car.
What'd you get, Mark?
I joined Team Prius.
Uh-huh. Nick's big on Priuses.
I'm big on Priuses now. Yeah, joint Team Prius. I've been a Prius owner for 1 week.
So you stepped up and you got like a good one, right?
You say you got a good one. Like, I mean,
Well, I mean, you could have bought an old one. You could have bought my model with 140,000 miles on it.
oh God, no, I didn't. What year is your Prius?
It's what is it? 2008, I think now.
I got a 2007, but mine had low mileage.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got the same. I think it's the same body styling and
looks-
same features.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, I don't want to say every Prius looks alike, but it looks very much. I mean, like if you have like a 2014, you're gonna see a difference. Or if you get the one that's like a plug-in now too.
Mhm.
If you get that, you'll see the
Yeah.
difference. But as far as like I think between 05 and like 2010 or 11, they're all damn near identical. But
Shoebox.
yeah. But we needed another backup car, so yeah, we're now a 3-car family. So yeah, Prius is awesome. Ashley, you should get one.
I might. I've had my Ford Taurus since 2002, so...
I'm hyper mile man now. I'm over here coasting like, yeah, look at that MPG, 60, 45, 60, 45. Oh, I'm coasting down the hill, 99. You know what I'm talking about, Nick. You know what I'm
He's
talking about.
min-maxing over here.
The best mileage we ever got was driving down 5 to Disneyland. I think we got 55 miles per gallon, and it's a full tank to go from here all the way to pretty much LA to go through the Grapevine.
Mm-hmm. Do you?
It's nap time.
No, those are the breaks. What am I looking for? Do you do the whole hypermile thing where you do the pulse and stop or whatever they call it? Did you get into all that stuff? Like where basically are you Leadfoot McGee over there where you're just
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not Leadfoot, and I've changed the way that I drive my car because of it, and I tend to drive our other car that's not a hybrid, just like it. But I mean, it's almost like a video game, figuring out exactly how much pressure to put on the pedal so that it doesn't.
You on the Prius, Ashley.
So it doesn't kick into gas, and if you do it right, like whether you're around town or you're going 75 on the freeway, you can go full electric. You just have to learn the car and figure it out and figure out what it needs, because it needs an energy reserve to do that. Or if it thinks like it's getting low on energy, it'll just kick on the gas no matter what you tell it to do.
Yeah, I've averaged upwards of 40 on trips, but we went somewhere last weekend and I got in the upper 50s and maintained it. Yeah, so it's a technique to drive that thing for sure. But
Right on.
I screwed up and left it on when I went into Target because it's so damn quiet.
Oh, you mean you didn't turn the car off and you walked away?
Well, the little remote thing that comes with it, I leave it in my pocket and I'm driving, and you know how the car shuts down when you stop.
Yeah, the gas shuts off, but
I turned the light
engine.
off, and I was my wife was on the phone with me, and the next thing you know, I'm going into Target, and I come back out, and the little console's on. I'm like, I left the car on.
Did you leave it? Oh, you have your key in your pocket, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the freaking console was on. So yeah. So Ashley, get a Prius. We'll be Team Prius.
Join the Prius family, huh?
Yeah. So,
Well, you can, if that becomes a habit for you, I would recommend putting your key fob in the actual little key slot, and that way when you actually, if you get out of the car with the key in there, it'll beep at you, and then you'll go, oh, okay, I gotta shut the car off, take the key out.
Yeah.
And even if you shut the car off and leave the key in there, it'll beep at you when you open the door, immediately. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's my big to do. Hey, come here for games, get Prius tips.
Yep.
But yeah, that was my big to do. You guys got anything to top that?
I have been busy with games. I haven't watched much of anything. I mean, my secret pleasure, Downton Abbey, started airing again. I really like that show, so I've been watching that.
Sweet. Nick.
Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to deal with kids just getting home from school and the noise and stuff. So the end of this podcast might be noisy, and I apologize. But yeah, to wrap this up, I do have a tip. If you guys are interested in the tip, real quick, and I can just do it fast.
Sure, go.
Of course, I didn't bring my Game Boy Micro down with me, but this is a Game Boy Advance Game Boy Micro tip, and I had this Mario Kart game, right? That is for GBA, and it's my favorite Mario Kart of all of them because it has a collection of the classic tracks and then some new ones, and it's Mario Kart Super Circuit. And the problem was I beat it so much like that the front end of the game turns orange to like a new color, and then there's like nothing more for me to do. So I've always wanted to erase the file, the save file, and start over, but there's no option in the game to do that. So finally, several years later, I decided to use this magical internet tool that we have to look up the solution, and I dug around and found one forum post on our friends IGN, written by Rob and Kester, and he actually says before you boot up the game, like you turn on the system, and then you hold down at the same time. You hold down L button, the R button, the start button, and the B button, all with your fingers all contorted like you're playing Heavy Rain. And when the game boots up, it'll actually say OK to erase all save data, and then you choose yes, and it boots up the game. You have everything erased. So that's my
Cool beans.
that's my GBA
Anyone
tip.
that wants to replay, what was it, Mario Kart Super Circuit?
Super Circuit. It's such a good game. So that was my tip. And I got a package today. Just got it now.
I got a package today too.
Yeah?
I got
What's
a
in
car.
your
I
package?
didn't get a package.
I thought somebody was going to say something dirty for a second.
No.
So yeah, that's it. I was going to open it.
I'm all like excited now. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, let me click unmute. All right, so this is what I got in the package. I got a car adapter for my Vita, official Sony PlayStation Vita car adapter. Can't find those anywhere for some reason. So now I can charge my Vita in the car. Because it doesn't charge with any old charger, and my power bag doesn't charge it either. And Mark, you might like this one. I got Monster Squad on Blu Ray.
Monster Squad.
Oh, you haven't seen this?
No.
Have you, Ashley?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you guys. This is such a good movie. Monster Squad. If any of the listeners have ever watched Monster Squad, do put a comment in there. Because this is a game I used to watch when I was a kid, and it's about a group of kids that have to save the day, and you can sort of see the kids right there. They have to save the day from a bunch of fictional monsters that we know from fairy tales.
Is it a cheap Goonies type movie?
Yeah, it's very much like Goonies, dude. This is classic, man. This is from my childhood. It probably doesn't hold up like visually, but you've got the thing or whatever, the underwater monster. He comes from the sewers, and he's got like webbed hands and stuff. You've got the Wolfman. You've got you got Dracula leading the pack. You've got a mummy and Frankenstein, and they're all like looking very real. It's very dark. It's not tongue-in-cheek humor or anything like that. It's not slapstick, but it does have that Goonies vibe to it. This is the movie that when I was a kid, I learned, I would say, my first dirty word, and it's not dirty enough to not say on the podcast. I learned the word nards when I was a kid. Nards. So.
Oh wow, I've seen this movie now. Kick him in the nards.
Wolfman has nards.
Wolfman, he kicked him in the nards. I'm seeing this movie now.
Thank you. See, that's all it took was just talk about nards and you remember it.
See, these two old guys talking over here, Ashley. You don't know about that.
Apparently.
Yeah. I won't even tell the funny story about when I used that word for the first time, but it's very embarrassing. But yeah, so that's it. I'm done.
Okay. Well,
Happy
folks,
birthday. My birthday's over.
If you've made it through our technical difficulties and things of that nature, we want to say thank you so much for sticking with us. We love you. I am at Mr. Hearn, M-I-S-T-E-R. You can probably see it if you're watching this.
Yeah.
M-I-S-T-E-R-H-E-A-R-N. Ashley is at Overlord Roar, and she's going to spell it this time.
No, I'm not spelling it.
No.
I refuse.
And I'm at Cosmo Crisis. KOSMOCRISIS.
Yeah. So this be the GameFans Podcast 20.
20.
That means 20.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much. Peace.
Peace.